Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Ashton Jackson. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys losing to Los Angeles Rams in a preseason game, 13-12. In dramatic fashion, Stetson Bennett had 4 turnovers in today's game, 4 interceptions. Everyone dang near had an interception on Stetson Bennett today. I'm going to be talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Trey Lance needs to get better on his progression. That's something I've talked about already. But he did have some positives today, utilizing his legs, breaking a sack today, and again, extending plays with his legs. That's something that we already know that he can do. He did have a few good completions today, but I wish that he saw the field a little bit better today. So that's why Jalen Marino Cropper could have, for sure, would have made a stamp on the official roster today had Trey Lance made a few reads today. Tyler Guyton was amazing today. Cooper Beebe was really good today in pass protection when I saw him play at center starting the second quarter, and then towards the second half of the game I saw him playing left guard, and we had AQ Shipley snapping the ball. So, there was a lot of good things that we had to talk about today. Julius Wood had a pick. Brock Mogensen had a pick. So we're going to talk about all that and more after the intro. So before we hop into the video, I appreciate if you guys like the video. Subscribe if you're new. Comment and share my video with anyone who you think will enjoy my content.
Yeah. Say shit about this and about that. They got shit to say about everything, but let's get to the fact. I see them trying to cut out all the real shit.
Trey Lance today was 25 of 41. He completed 61% of his passes. He had 188 passing yards. Of course, he fell short of my expectation. I wanted him to sling the ball around today and throw for at least 300 was my goal. Because I'm thinking Jalen Marino Cropper, Racey McMath, David Durden, John Stevens Jr., Beverin Spanford. I was thinking you had some not solidified, but you had some solid enough wide receivers. I felt like that were getting open today, and I felt like Ryan Flournoy as well. I know he dropped the third down pass in the second quarter on Trey Lance's third drive when my bad, second drive when he had the ball. Messed up. Flournoy went to Flournoy on a second down, didn't get it. Third down and 10. Flournoy got right back to it, beat the cornerback off the press on a wide open slant route. Trey Lance looked to that direction, went off of him, and looked to his right, and I just ended up throwing the ball away and just ended up being a negative play. Cooper Rush was 2 of 3, 44 passing yards. He had a hell of a pass to Jalen Brooks today. Jalen Brooks caught 2 passes for 49 yards. Again, he did really good today. So did Kelvin Harmon. He came formerly from the Washington Commanders, came over, did his thing today. Jalen Cropper did his thing as well today, 4 catches and 26 yards. Now, that's something I want to touch on real quick. Cooper Rush did his thing today. He came in on the first offensive drive, came in, had a big play to Jalen Brooks. Jalen Brooks got down there for 44 yards. Offense stalled out. Offense got 3 points. That first defensive drive, because the Rams got the ball first to start the game, defense did their thing today. I was really proud of DeMarvin Overshown. He looks very explosive in today's game. So did Marquise Bell. Marshawn Nealon had a couple of stops today in today's game. He looked very, very good in the run game, which I talked about that a lot coming in the pre-draft presser, where I said that he was going to make something he was not going to have a problem with in the league was stopping the run. It was, can he develop and be a solid pass rusher? That was my thing against him, was like, stopping against the run is not going to be his problem. He's going to make money in the league doing that without a doubt. It was, how are you going to be when it's time for back and pass? Can you be able to go after the quarterback? Marquise Bell had a hell of a day today. He had 1 interception. Could have easily had 3. He was in the vicinity for 3 interceptions today. And like I said earlier in the intro, Stetson Bennett looked terrible today. Outside of that last drive when he took the team down and he won the game, which in a real NFL game, if the quarterback threw 4 interceptions, that's terrible. But if you went down and you won the game, that's all that matters. If you leave the game with a W, that's all that matters. But our defense has to tighten up. But our offense, I felt like, could easily put this game to bed had Trey Lance converted, which I'm going to talk about that pretty soon. Mazi Smith looked very, very good today in his time today when he did start. My only gripe for him is I wish he played a lot more, and I blame that more on the coaching staff and Mike Zimmer and his crew. I really felt like Mazi Smith should have at least played a half, or at least the first half and a little bit of the third quarter, but I felt like he should have played majority of this game, because when I am hearing from scouts, I'm hearing from people on YouTube and things of that nature on Twitter, they're saying that his motor really isn't really that great, and how he's doesn't seem like he's a very conditioned athlete. I need Mazi Smith to be out there to get his game time conditioning in. Obviously, I know we're going to be depending on him a lot. But he looked very good today. He had a tackle for loss. He had a stop today. He wasn't getting pushed back or wasn't getting bullied. He did a really good job today. I'm really proud of Mazi Smith. Of course, I'm probably going to see him tape later on where I got to see when he is absorbing those double teams. Is he playing on one leg? That's something that I do see a lot when he is engaging in double teams or just getting blocked in general. He only plays on one leg, and that's going to be a problem. But if he tighten that up, I'm very proud of him. We were talking about Jalen Brooks, but I'm really going to get into Trey Lance because we've been waiting for almost 2 years for Trey Lance to play football. If you're a Trey Lance fan, you've been waiting for 2 years for him to play. And for him to come back in today's game, and he didn't really look that good today, in my opinion. I felt like he could have easily had a sharper game, in my opinion. And for example, this is what I'm going to talk about. His very first drive that he had today with Tyler Guyton on the field. Tyler Guyton looked amazing today, guys. I'm really proud of what he did. And the reason why I'm proud of what he did today is because an inexperienced left tackle in the game, and he isn't getting bullied by just random pass rushers, and he's actually bullying people. He's actually looking like a blue chip prospect or first round selected dude, and he's not having nobody bullying him, and he's bullying other people that are nowhere near on his talent level. I absolutely love that out of my first round offensive lineman. I'm very proud of what he's doing. He needs to build it up. Good days on good days. I know it's one preseason game. I know he practices against Micah Parsons. I know he doesn't have that chest cold anymore, but he needs to go out there and keep practicing. I'm very proud of him, and we're going to keep that thing going with him. And we're going to figure it out with Tyler Guyton. But I really like what I saw from Tyler Guyton today, like all seriousness. I'm really proud of what he did today. But Trey Lance, the very first drive that he has, for us to get to the red area, he did use his athleticism. It was a 3rd and long. He picked up 19 yards and got it for us by easily. Tyler Guyton moved the edge defender out of his way. Slide. He has to get better on his slide. But he went down there, slid, cool. Got down there, 19 rush yards on that scamper. He got down there, got us close to the red area. The problem that I had that very next drive, it was towards the end of the first quarter. We ran trips to the right side of the hash. It was Marino Cropper as the inside receiver, and then we had 2 other receivers on the outside, one being Tyron Billy Johnson. I think the slot dude might have been it was one of the tight ends, either Beverin or it was the other one, Luke Schoonmaker. But I remember we were out there, we were running an RPO flood type of concept where we're running basically just a rub route where you're going to have 2 on the outside receivers. The outside closest to the sideline was Tyron Billy Johnson. Then the next receiver next to him was going to be Schoonmaker, and then the next receiver next to Schoonmaker was Marino Cropper. Marino Cropper was a read, and Marino Cropper, we caught the Rams and man coverage on an RPO play. Trey Lance carries out the fake. We had the perfect read. Jalen Marino Cropper was wide open for a touchdown. Again, again, you guys can go back and go look on Twitter and everything. I swear to you. Trey, because I'm taking notes. I take notes on my notepad and everything like that, right? So look, Trey Lance easily could have had a touchdown right there for Jalen Marino Cropper for a wide open touchdown. That was on a 3rd down play. The very next play on a 4th and 1, we're doing our patent slot wide receiver gets open in the corner of the end zone. You're either going to throw it to the back left pylon or you're going to throw it to the back right pylon. Jalen Marino Cropper won the route. He was wide open as you can possibly be. It was like damn near college. He was like college open, and Trey Lance totally missed him, completely threw him out of bounds. Jalen Marino Cropper and Trey Lance could have looked amazing today had they connected on that 3rd round mesh, on that mesh RPO play, rub route play. That would have been a first touchdown. That would have been amazing for Trey Lance to go down on his opening drive and get a touchdown, something that Cooper Rush didn't do. So that's just, it's just little tidbit things like that he needs to get better at. There was a lot of times where, again, I talked about that earlier in the intro, where Ryan Flournoy, Trey Lance needs to remain confident in his players. That's something that I do respect about Dak Prescott. You can drop 100 passes. If CeeDee Lamb's never covered, they're bracketing Ferguson. Cooks has a bigger and best corner on him. He's still going to look at Jalen Tolbert, right? So I think that's what Trey Lance needs to figure out and what he needs to do, and that's what's hard for these young quarterbacks. I understand they want to make plays, but then also it's hard for them to trust their guys. He also needs to trust his eyes a lot more. He's going to come back into the film room. They're going to talk about that a lot. Him and McCarthy, they're going to gather together. Dak Prescott was watching. Dak Prescott's going to help Trey Lance, give him some tidbits as well. I'm not worried about it. I think Trey Lance is going to be way better next week. But I mean, it's just a little tidbit things that he has to get better at. His accuracy has to get down, of course. And then again, he had a really great play today. Let me double check my other notes. Yeah, he broke in the second half and the start of the fourth quarter. We go open, and Trey Lance broke a would-be sack on fourth down, and he got it. Like, so there's plays where he's bad with his reads throwing the ball, but there's amazing times where he can run the ball. So if we can flip it, he's really good at passing the ball, and then rushing can get improved on. But he doesn't need to work on that side of his game. We already know he can run. His passing is what we need to focus on. But enough talking about the offense. The offense did their thing today. For the most part, I know that we did kick 4 field goals today. I wish that we could have got at least one touchdown score in, but we're going to get better at that. I know we're not showing a whole lot in preseason because, again, it's the preseason. Marshawn Nealon was a force. I was proud of him today. Kevin Carson looked okay today. He didn't look as great as I wanted him to be, but again, it's the first game jitters. It's fine. You've been practicing against the Rams all week. You've been looking really good in practice. Again, you got next week. It's fine. Pull it together. We're going to be all right. I'm not even mad at him. I'm just I was expecting a little bit more out of him. I was expecting at least a couple pass deflections. He looks solid. He did have a little bit tough time in coverage, but it's fine. But that's what happens. That was something I also want to touch on real quick. Our pass rush looks horrible. Like, our second, third team pass rush looks terrible, dude. It looks terrible. I'm going to talk about guys like Junior Fehoko in a little bit, dude. Terrible game from him. Terrible. Eric Scott had a very up and down game today. Again, he had a dumb penalty, a late hit in the first quarter. It was a third down play. Wide receiver beat him on the sideline. The receiver is clearly out of bounds. Eric Scott does a D-head move and pushes him out of bounds. No need for him to do that. He already knows he's out of bounds. No need to push him. You push him, gets 15 yards. They yank his behind out of the game, as they should. Why are you costing us that? They already got the first down. Why are you tacking on that plus 15? Eric Scott, wake up. You got to. Who cares if you're frustrated? He got the first down on you. And so what? Short-term memory that you got to have in the NFL, especially when you're playing quarterback, because you're playing so many damn good offenses and receivers that receivers eventually going to get one on you. So you can't let that get to your head that a receiver got to you on that first down, and then you do that and you push them out of bounds like that. I know it's football, it's cool, it's a physical sport, I love it, but don't do that. Because in a real life game, when we need you to play, I don't need you doing that against the top echelon, the upper echelon teams in the NFC. I can't have you doing that in a playoff game. I can't have you doing that versus Detroit. I can't have you doing that against Atlanta. Can't have you do that against the 49ers. I'm not saying Atlanta's the top echelon team in the NFC, but I'm just saying who we play. You can't do that. Then the Rams kept throwing the ball at him, and then eventually he made up for it in the second quarter, towards the end of the second quarter with a pick, and he picked off Stetson Bennett. He was one of the first. He was the first person. Not the first person. He was the second person to pick off Stetson Bennett. The first one being Marquise Bell. Like I said, had a hell of a game. I'm proud of him. Florida A&M. There we go. And Eric Scott did his thing at the end of the second quarter, but he looked a lot better, and I will give him credit for that. I know that was a bonehead play, but he made up for it with that pick, and I'm really proud of him for doing that. Then now Julius Wood had a pick, really great in the run game, had a really nice hit. Julius Wood looks very great in coverage. I'm very proud of him as well. He looks like another steal for us at that safety position, and we keep adding people to the safety room. I remember when safety was horrid, 5-6 years ago? Man, when we had Jeff Heath and he's a position coach now. Darian Thompson from Boise State. Like, man, we used to have Jeff Heath. I already said his name. We used to have some J.J. Wilcox. He was solid, but man, we had some bad safeties. I'm glad our safety room has finally turned for the better. I remember we had Xavier Woods, and man, I remember all that. I'm really glad and I'm really proud that the Dallas Cowboys are taking the safety room serious. I know that's up to Al Harris and Will McClay and everything like that, but I'm really proud of what we're doing with the safety room, putting it all together. Beverin Span Ford is a very reliable target. I saw him getting open a lot. John Stevens Jr. looked really great today. He looked like a wide receiver out there. We already know what John Stevens can do, but I was really proud to see what Beverin Span Ford was doing. Schoonmaker looked like Schoonmaker, man. He was dropping passes. Man, I don't know. One thing I'm talking about, the ugly, man. Junior Fehoko, when he's on the field, man, it's a negative play. Like there's nothing that he can do. I saw him getting pushed back today. Stenson Bennett was rolling out on a fourth down. He completely got outran of and out pursued. It looked terrible. He couldn't pass rush every single time. I really saw this in camp already. But Junior Fehoko wasn't doing anything in this game today, and it looked very, very horrid. It didn't even look good today. It looked sickening watching him. I'm not trying to clown him or anything like that. He just needs to be a lot better, especially when we're depending on guys like him to potentially step up for us because we have a lot of young guys, and Sam Williams being out really hurt us. I understand that we did sign two people, Shaka Tony and Muhammad, from the Indianapolis Colts just 2 weeks ago. So, we got to get that together. But Junior Falk cannot pass rush to save his life. I did take a note of that. It just looked very terrible today. We need more D tackle depth very, very badly. I saw that today. There was a couple of times when the Rams were able to easily get like 5-6 yards rushes, just easily. Like I just saw the defensive line get part of like a Red Sea when Mazi Smith wasn't in there, and they just got 5-6 yards. I'm just like, our interior of our defensive line needs to get better. I really hope this was a for sure eye-opening game for Will McClay and Stephen Jones for them to go out and go sign a guy like Linval Joseph, so on and so forth, and start Al Woods, Lawrence Guy. We got to start making moves for some defensive tackles for sure. Another thing, Mazi, I already talked about Mazi. He should be playing a lot more. But the last thing I'm going to end it off with was Brock Mogensen ending it off with a pick. He looked solid today when I did see him in pass coverage. I'm really glad that he got that pick. I really like what Zimmer was doing with the double-A mugs, setting pressure, because he understood we couldn't get home with 4, so he was setting some pressure. That is going to hurt us potentially down the line. If in real life if we in real life cannot get to the quarterback and we have to send pressure and we have to force pressure to get somebody home, it's gonna be a problem. But again, I'm not worried about it. Michael Parsons, D-Law, Osa, we're gonna be able to get home. I'm not tripping about that. Linebackers look good today. I'm really proud of Overshawn, really proud of Marquise Bell, really proud of Nealon, really proud of Guyton. This rookie class is looking a hell of a lot better than our previous rookie class in 23. So I'm really glad of what we're putting together here. Obviously, I know it's the first week of preseason. I understand we got the entire rest of the season to go, but I did see some bright spots. I did want to talk about those guys and things of that nature, man. That's about it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.